I'm a little bit late, but I am here to do the reading for Twin Flame Collective, the first for 2021. And yes, for those of you that are members, I will be posting when I will be doing the live for you guys, okay? Now, I have had a lot of downloads psychically linking to the Twin Flame path, as well as obviously I study astrology to help us through our ascension path and work out what these themes are. Now, I was a little bit late because I needed to document down what was coming up because I have had a lot of downloads over the last 24 hours, and that was in relation to the Twin Flame path and some synchronistic events that have been happening with your counterpart. Now, spiritually, there has been a bit of a shake-up, and last year we did deem as the Phoenix rising when it did come to divine masculines, but it was also divine feminines liberation energetically. With the Mars element, all of us collectively were potentially having those war wound energies coming up when it did look at it from a perpetrator's point of view, okay? So because in the collective, masculines are linked to both Mars and Jupiter. Last year had transformations linking to both Mars and Jupiter. So, okay, let's just shout out to masculines. How did you go, guys? Moving into 2021, it's a bit like shell shock, honest to goodness. So, and a lot of things I am seeing. Number one, because I did cover the astrology for 2021 and I have done the whole year's transits per zodiac sign, the theme I did see coming through was at the end of the year, we're having a Venus retrograde in Capricorn, and we're entering this year with a new moon in Capricorn. So it's kind of perplexing when you do look at it. We've also got Juno, which is feminine's energy, transiting into Sagittarius, which again is masculine energy. It's very Jupiter orientated energy. Now, at the end of 2020, we had the full moon in Cancer. Now, what did that mean? And why am I bringing that up? A, because we had a full moon in Cancer. We also are having a lot of Capricorn energy, and Cancer is the shadow sign. Hi, Ma, my mum's in the house, and Cancer is the shadow sign of Capricorn. At the end of the year, we will have an eclipse, not an eclipse, Venus retrograde in Capricorn. So again, we had the nodes in 2020 prior to May in Cancer and Capricorn. Okay, so at a karmic level, a lot of us are purging karmic cycles. We did learn through the nodal effect, and moving forward, it feels like we're having this rebirth, so to speak. So with our emotions, the way we're looking at life is we could be really reflecting upon feminine energy. We could be reflecting upon our emotions, our feelings, and our vibration inside of connections. Now, the totems that I've seen this morning, and I have been seeing them for a few days, and it's like nagging at me. Number one, really bizarre totem, Airwick totem. Now, this does connect to ancient wisdom. It also connects to, again, yin and yang, guys, as within, as without, how we feel inside versus how we're feeling without. And because we're having Mars at the moment transit, for feminines in your birth chart, our Mars placement can link to our feelings and our needs inside of a masculine energy or a counterpart energy. So with that, it can be like that lack within. So we need to integrate that energy. And because collectively we had Mars retrograde last year and Aries and Chiron retrograde, we felt this yearning and this longing for counterpart, but we were needing to integrate that inside of ourselves, of how we felt personally in the mix of things, how we felt emotionally, and what we potentially felt was lacking in our connections. It can even be our vibration of how we're feeling. Now, with the Airwick totem, it is our voice, okay? But it's not from a pain body experience where triggered, hey, you need to level up, you need to do X, Y, and Z. It's more, okay, am I communicating effectively? Am I articulating what my needs are without the expectation of, okay, well, I can't say that because X, Y, and Z might happen. That can be very codependent in nature. And It can also bring about where you're potentially mincing your words due to the fact you're fearing an outcome, and it can be delaying the inevitable point blank zero. So if you were guided to, and you were Marsing people, as I say here on YouTube, because we have Mars at the critical degrees and it's really getting quite agitated and angry as it gets ready to transition over to Taurus. The previous video I did mention where those placements were, bearing in mind at the moment, the projection at the moment linking to divine masculine is going to be quite large. You can be very irritated at the moment. And this can be towards the opposite sex, unfortunately. This can even be in your life, frustrated and angry at yourself. Why did you do this? Why haven't you said that? If I say that, what's the outcome? So Airwick Totem is asking us to move into yin and yang. It's also asking us to get into that yin and yang. We've got Juno there, which is, again, Jupiter energy, but it's South Node at the moment. So we're needing to come into a balanced way of being the new version of ourselves. We had the full moon in Cancer. We're a new version of ourselves, but we're triggered by the past. I can say we don't live there anymore, but themes of 2019 and 2020 are coming back to be revisited, and it's only for a temporary point, and it can be a karmic test. So you can feel in your spiritual connections relating to twin flame path that there is a cycle, so to speak, at a karmic level being purged. And I really was channeling that last year, that there appeared to be, and how do I say it? In my connection, yes, I am very psychic in general. So I always deemed it as, I was psychic, that's why I can tune into it. What I didn't understand is the spiritual connection initially as empaths. When you go through your awakening, you are susceptible to their direct vibration. But as you increase in frequency through your ascension path and your awakening, you're more susceptible, point blank zero, to everyone's vibration. So you do tend to go into hermit mode. And it's only then when you move into that full card energy where you move forward that you are having that rebirth, so to speak, because it's a purge of the ego. And you realize that even incense and things to that degree, any codependency we have in our life and integration, we go into hermit mode to have the upgrade. We then reintegrate back into society and with our connections. And we're able to handle that vibration a lot better. So that 6th house placement I mentioned in the previous video gives you tools and tricks to be able to handle how to manage that ascension process and manage those healthy boundaries. So wherever and whatever zodiac sign you have inside that 6th house, pay attention to it. As the moon and the sun transits it, it can be quite challenging. Oh, thank you, Andrew. How are you doing in New Zealand? Are you taking care? Big shout out to everyone in New Zealand. Okay, separately. So and we all have yin and yang. We all have masculine and feminine inside ourselves. So this integration energy I'm talking about right now is for all of us collectively to get to a point where we can get into yin and yang. Number one, if we feel we're mincing our words and there's things on our mind we want to say, we can speak from our own personal perspective. That's our accountability. That's our responsibility. But it's also moving into yin and yang. Are we communicating from a place of a wound or an expectation, or are we communicating in a minced up way so that we don't hurt someone's feelings? The merch that I created on YouTube was for that reminder. And it's very much the projection is the reflection. So a lot of times when somebody actually has an opinion of you, it's generally a lack within or an opinion and a feeling that one has with oneself. So again, a similar energy. If we're looking at things and we're not wanting to say something because we're fearing the outcome, yet again, that's about them. That's not about us. We can't change that. But we can change the way we're showing up in our life and get to the point where we can say, okay, this is how I'm saying it. Statements when it does come to messaging counterparts and love interests that you're really not in much communication with. If it's a statement and it's directly from your perspective, that's fine. Allowing that person to do that work. Another thing is with the yin and yang, it's understanding your emotions and where those things are coming from so that you can transform that energy. And I do feel for a lot of feminines, there is this rebirth energy going on as well as masculines. And at a karmic level, psychically, I was tuning into some of those old cycles coming back appearing like a bit of a repeat, but going to end really quickly. So, yes, it is a spiritual test for all of us. It's a little bit like a soul walk-in. If any of you know much about soul walk-ins, you kind of feel a bit shell-shocked. You try to go back to an old way of being. It's a little bit like leaving a relationship and then getting scared and going back to it like it's a nest. So, hi, MS Eccentric Tarot. How are you, dog? So, yeah, when you do that, you kind of feel like, oh, what did I do that for? I knew this was going to happen. Why did I go back to that old way of being? And then you jump back out of the hot pot. So that's really the themes that can be playing at the beginning of January, because we do have heavy Capricorn placements. And so a lot of the assessment that's going to be coming through is going to be based on, okay, Saturn is an Aquarius, Jupiter's an Aquarius. At the end of this month, we have Mercury going retrograde. So our thoughts and feelings can be coming up at the moment with Mercury. It can be egoic, but it's the vibration of the downloads you get and how you're feeling about it. Yeah, and it's because we had the full moon in Cancer and we've got the shadow energy of Capricorn at the moment. So purging these timelines, purging these paradigms of expectations of what role we're supposed to be. Yes, that did come up for me personally. When it comes to workload, I've got Cancer in my chart, I've got Libra in my chart. So yeah, that axis off that was very much getting the foundation right, but also when it does come to, looking after your children, getting things done, trying to be yin and yang and masculine, feminine, and not being able to be everything. We're purging that cycle and we're trying to articulate it, throat chakra with airwig totem of, hey, look, I'm really sorry, these are my obligations, because this is what Saturn's putting pressure on you at the moment with is, okay, for the wider group energy and the people you're mixing with, creating those healthy boundaries and communicating effectively is your responsibility. The outcome is out of your hands, but it is very much trusting that process. Now, separately, I did see the cricket. Now, cricket totem has two meanings. Cricket totem on the internal of the house has a different meaning to the external, but regardless in the bigger picture of things, it is positive. And the good old term patience comes up, but it's not in the way you're thinking. It's more the patience and the subjects of what you've dealt with in your life are going to pay off. It's a bit like the energy of nothing is in vain, especially when we pick the ruins, which I will pick some ruins today, if I can find them. I'm not looking fabtabulous, but it's not about me, is it? It's about the energy and getting these updates. And yes, those of you that have purchased a video, wrong book, I will be, your videos should come to you within 48 hours. And I'm also doing 36 videos because I like to bite off more than I can chew, right? My North and South node, Capricorn and Cancer, my partner has really stood up since. Yes, well, Cancer and Capricorns at the moment, you guys are really getting to a point. If there's any BS relating to karmic energies or healthy boundaries, it's disheartening to you. It's painful, but it's also you're looking at the bigger picture and it's like breaking those patterns and the 6th house placements showing you. So, oh, thanks, Jen. So, with those circumstances, karmic situations can come back. Yes, family-related dynamics because we had the full moon in Cancer. So with it being a full moon at the end of the year, what ushers in a new moon. And so, the funny thing is, it's always like when you've given up on something, comes back again and you're like, yeah, but I gave up on you. It wasn't a hope and dream. Like, I came to terms with it. And so I decided to focus my energies over here. And then you get all these energies coming in. Why? Because you've moved into detachment. So detachment is a unique gift to master. And once you do, you can ultimately attract those things into your life at those correct times instead of years later, 25 years, might I add. I'll have a look at that ruin in a minute. So with the cricket totem, yes, it can denote rebirth. And yes, as I mentioned, the full moon in Cancer is meaning we're moving into 2021 in a rebirth effect. The old has gone. It's cycle with families, paradigms, connections. It grew old. It was the South node prior to May 2020. And it was there for 2.5 years. And now we have these energies coming back. And it does feel a little bit like a return of the Mac with that situation, that you're looking at it and going, okay, I've kind of come to terms with that. I've kind of put that to rest. And it can be the codependent energies inside of situations. It might be fixed beliefs that we have relating to us as feminines or family members or feminine energies, even karmics. And I do feel very strongly that there potentially could be a return of those energies and a test factor occurring with masculines. Now, the funny thing is, they have been in their war wounds for a bit at collective level when it does come to their feelings emotionally relating to themselves. And as we move past the 7th, because Mars is transiting into Taurus, their self-esteem is going to be roaring on fire. And it is for their psychological well-being. It's for their self-esteem. It's for their liberation, but the tension point could be hitting them. So any self-esteem and inner child energy that needs rectifying, I do feel their self-worth energy is going to be building, and it will be there until March the 3rd. Now, after that, you will find when it transits over to the North Node in Gemini, Mars will be hitting that placement, and those transformations inside of their lives will be shifting and changing. No New Year's text from Twin. Yeah, but detaching from it is healthy, because learning to live back in this moment and learning that, in the initial stages when you look at it, you tend to have this yearning for the energy and they're on a pedestal. And it's like when you sort of do get to a point you humanize the person, but you also realize you were the one that always needed to be on the pedestal, not from an egoic point of view, but from a self-worth point of view. And at the moment, we can be embodying a little bit of their frequency as they're purging their old life. We can be embodying that energy. So expectation, leads to disappointment. If you look at your life and say, everything I have in my life is what I've built, what I've made, what I've done, I know that I'm attractive, that I'm beautiful, that I'm lovely, that I have everything to offer, that if they feel some other situation's great for them, as long as they're in alignment, that'll go well for them. If they're not, it just won't work with the transits. It just won't. Let's have a look at the songs. Now, some of the songs that have been coming through, Moth Totem also has come up, which again does relate to the moon. It's also things done in the dark, moon energy, shadow work, and the transformation. But again, it can be energies where people are feeling it's very hard to sleep. Got all these tabs in this book. Another thing that Yildiz decided she was going to do, but she hasn't done, which is mark the book, but I haven't done it yet. When I did finish the 2021 astrology page, so for the whole year's transit, my room looked like a recycle bin, which I'm recycling to now. Let's have a look at this totem. So, A Moth Through the Flame by Janet Jackson came through in a song for a psychic download. And very separately from Cody Ugly, I'm Gonna Get You. So I was like, oh heck. Separately for Karmics, I will do an energy relating to that, and I will later on do a separate channeling in the privacy of the members zone for those of you that are members. Oh heck. Okay, so this is the ruin that we have. Excuse the hand. Yeah, harvest. Okay. Meaning, planet, sun. Oh, are we an ego? Okay. Sunday, element fire. Yes, Mars is there. Okay, so currently we have the sun in Capricorn. All right, when does the sun transit over? 19th, it transits to Aquarius. So at the moment, yes, that devil energy, the devil card is coming up, the devil in the detail. For masculines. This can be to do with the work that they've been doing. And at a karmic level, it can be to do with a family-related dynamic, a home-related dynamic, conditioning in a child. So these things can be coming up. So at a karmic level, where they live, how they live, what their physical routine is, can be in a shake-up zone and doing their shadow work relating to this. But I do feel through this process, they're going to be liberating themselves in this feeling. A heart chakra activation for masculines at the moment. Yeah. Let's have a look. Well, Taurus in the second house placement does link to Venus energies. Now, we do have Aries and Chiron still there. which again is from self, but the clearing of things when it does relate to inner child, it's the yellow chakra. Also, fear-based frequency, I'm not yet, to a degree they can be, but it can be avoidance. And that can be an egoic purge relating to what their role is in society. And it's always very difficult when, you're really outgrowing a way of doing things and you're realizing you've been doing something in a pattern sense, and it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just, okay, question, why have you been doing that all your life? And this is really coming up. So we're entering a new cycle. We had the full moon in Cancer. So the number 12 signifies the solar cycle, and we did have the eclipse in Sagittarius, which does connect to masculine energies collectively. The solar cycle of 12 months. Appropriately, it is also the number of Jera, the ruin whose name means yeah. The full solar cycle. Being derived from the word yeah, meaning good season or high summer. And it does look like a harvest, okay? Reaping what we sow. But I'm not feeling bad. I'm feeling, okay, so rewards of abundance, fruition, maturity, and growth. And what do we have? Mars moving into the second house placement, which is their resources, self-esteem, confidence, net worth, value, and energetically, it needs self-worth value. This is how I see things. Esoterically, right action, natural law. Yeah, the natural law is we can be an ego, and yes, ego is not bad either. We need that to be able to achieve. It also can be where we purge things and we're looking at things of relevancy. So at this point, Capricorn is in the sun. So third eye energy is our viewpoints and the way we're showing up in the world. It's like, I have all these responsibilities. I have to do X, Y, and Z. And yes, that's true. But was it something you committed to, and was it for a reason due to conditioning? So there's some questions coming up for them at the moment. Okay, in reverse, which it's not, is it? They're looking at the past. It's not in reverse, but they are looking at the past. Okay, let's have a look. We'll look at both ways. Bad habits. Yeah, well, so second house can be overconsumption, triggers, devil energy, yes, hunger, idleness, intoxication, things to that degree. But again, it's temporary, it's a transit. Mars can be where they're really battling to behave and do the things that they're supposed to do, and they're looking at themselves and being a little bit angry towards themselves. Rewards for right action, a deserved harvest for good farmers. Those who live their lives in accordance with the natural laws can expect the rewards for their efforts. Hell, I'm going to go to hell. Reversed emphasizes the inherent delusionism, suggesting conflict with natural law, the inner turmoil that results from wrong actions or inaction. The message may be the realign to the natural order of things, get into the flow. This will take some effort, even suffering. Well, I did say that, as transits go forward, it kind of does get a bit yucky when we're not in our alignment. And alignment is about, okay, do I resonate with this? Does this way I'm living feel natural? Does it flow? Am I having to fight to convince people X, Y, and Z? You get my gist. The message is there is no such thing as free lunch. Second house placement, do the work. We have to earn our daily bread in some way that does not go against the grain of our life. Self-worth value. We must sow the seeds for next year's breads, otherwise we can expect no harvest and will suffer the pangs of starvation. So, as I mentioned, Taurus is the element of Venus. It's also, yes, it's agriculture. It's, again, Venus elements, luxuries. It can be overindulgence. Separately, it is the way we create our income because it's second house placement. So it's okay. Where do I stand? All that work I was doing last year, where do I stand? And if I don't like it, what am I going to do to transform those domains in my life? And it is a self-esteem energy also. So let's get some cards. What's coming up for masculines? And I will check feminines as well. So the collective energy of what's coming through, they may be in avoidance of you at the moment because there is something at a very spiritual level going on with them. They're having these epiphanies, and Mars is changing them up again. And so, yes, this year you will get a diverse, transformative masculine. They will not be the same all the way through the year because, A, we have the South Node in Sagittarius, which is Jupiter, and that transformation is changing them. They're moving away from their old way of being and moving towards the Gemini energy. Separately, we just had Jupiter transit into Aquarius last month, so that's kicking off. And it will be their thoughts and their emotions during Mercury retrograde will be based on those things. You crack me up. What's your right? Well, I'm trying very hard not to give energy to someone who couldn't bother to text or even get a holiday. Yeah, and I used to think that, and then I thought, gosh, they could be stuck in a flood and I wouldn't even know it. And here I am, an ego going, he didn't send me a text. So I used to disconnect from it. It's like it takes two to tango, and it's like you want more than a text message. Let's just be honest. A text message is like a piece of cheese to a mouse, and we're well beyond being a mouse. If you've been starving for that attention, and you kind of poured your energy into yourself, you're going to get to the point where even a message wouldn't cut it. So it's like what a lot of feminines at the moment are wanting is the energy that we're putting into ourselves and equal nature coming through. Let's look at the 8th house. Yes, okay, so we do have 8th house placement for masculines in Scorpio, which does mean the only Pluto energy there, thanks, beautiful, the only kind of Pluto energy there for them is ending the old way of being. So it's allowing cycles to end, not sweeping things under the carpet and doing those things. Okay, so the crowning energy. Yeah, heart chakra activation. Okay, what they're feeling is karma's coming back. They're like, okay, and not for all of them. How do I explain it? Whatever they feel is out of alignment for them, they're shifting it about to a point they're saying, okay, what I don't like is my power to transform. So they're in awareness of it, but they're really thinking about the things they don't like. Good fortune is the result of good thoughts and actions. I am grateful for my blessings. It's in reverse. And it's green, it's heart chakra. Release feelings of impatience, jealousy, and frustration. Devil energy. Devil card in the tarot. Improved abilities to integrate and process life. Connect to the inner strength of ultimate potential. They're like, okay, that cycle's gone. Hi, Rebecca. How you doing, girl? Sister-in-law's in the house. I am grateful for other people's good fortune. I'm telling you, it's like they're seeing the difference of what they had versus what they have. And they're like, I want more. Which is 2nd house placement, self-esteem. Mars is doing a Mars on them. So, but it's not, it's for them, right? It's lack within, lack without, airwig totem. So as within, as without, let's integrate that. What do we do? So masculines at the moment, if there is something that you're not liking, the shadow sign of it is Taurus, right? And Taurus for you guys does link to your 2nd house plus you guys are Mars energy. We also have Black Moon Lilith and Taurus. We also have Uranus and Taurus going direct, and it brings sudden changes. So you can expect feminines to observe your masculines by the beginning of the year, moving to the 14th, sudden drastic changes. And Uranus and Taurus is like Forrest Gump. We can literally say Forrest Gump in this house, and you will know I'm meaning Uranus and Taurus because you don't know what you're going to get. And it's going to come out of nowhere. Initially, we may feel it's really mean. And it can be beautiful things as well. You know, if we've really been sowing that crop and doing all the good things to take steps forward, we'll get those great things. And look, the other analogy I have is your mother tells you that you've been a good girl and you're going to have an ice cream. And then the ice cream truck breaks down. Does that mean you weren't a good girl? Does it mean that you're not supposed to behave in your life? No, it doesn't. So stop telling yourself false fulfilling prophecies, right? Yes, over the last few months, I have noticed my partner becoming extremely self-aware. Yeah. And Sagittarius is transforming them. It is Jupiter energy. They're having this shift collectively. And spirituality is a very personal thing. And it's sometimes with masculines, it's learned through 3D experiences. And these emotions for them really are coming up at the moment where they're looking at them. Sorry if there's a bit of a glare. So we have... I'm grateful for other people's good fortune. It brings me joy to see others experience happiness. It's showing them the shadow, okay? It's showing them the shadow relating to this, that's what they're wanting, that they're entitled to more. And when we want more, we seek more. Feeling safe and protected, improved self-esteem and confidence, dissipating jealousy. Yes, jealousy is coming up. Extend blessings and goodwill to others. Increased philosophical actions. So this can be where they were thinking they were a little bit cursed, maybe. Again, with Mars in their first house, being really hard on themselves, being critical, self-fulfilling prophecies, trying to heal themselves, doing that privately, maybe even pushing you at bay. I can do this alone. I've got things going on, right? Feminines. Let's see what's coming through for you. Oh, boy. Okay. I might pull a chakra card on that one, guys. Or maybe an animal totem. Now, this can be two things, right? I'm in a place where I'm actually feeling anticipation and excitement for what the universe is going to throw at me. Now, you guys can't see that because it's been hidden because, you know, Sally and I, sometimes we practice profanities. So, you know, sometimes it's held accidentally, right? There's one naughty word in there. Ooh. Okay. Anywho, how feminines are showing up. I confidently show my true colors to others. I am fabulous. Now, this can go two ways. It can either be we're in a little bit of ego, or it can be, hey, we've actually done that work and we're happy with ourselves. Sally swears. Yeah, Sally does swear. Yildiz does too, but just not on YouTube potentially. And, you know, I did nursing. I can change that channel on and off. Anywho, okay, so peacock, right? But what we're showing on the outside, again with the airwig totem, isn't resonating on the inside. So is there something potential from a documentation point of view you can write down, you know, channel your thoughts, your feelings? What we're showing, is it mirroring the inside? So are we showing up in the world and saying, hey, everything's beautiful and lovely, and you're going, oh, so that, bleep. Okay. My confidence is rock solid. I take positive actions to manifest my goals. Now, Mars can be triggering us too, feminines, because if we're looking outside ourselves and we're mad at them, it could be something that we need to integrate inside. And it's not to say that's the only issue. Yes, we do need to come to every connection equally in a beautiful world. And yes, we will have larger opportunities for that with Jupiter in Aquarius now. Now, you may have found that over the last, 20 odd years, maybe beyond, we did have around 2017 through to 2020, very testing aspects relating to astrology. So the analogy I can give you, feminines, is your tires popped, you need someone to come and give you a hand, potentially your masculine, and they're MIA. Why? Because they were in Capricorn energy. Have 101 problems, or 99 problems, but my feminine is not one. But you actually weren't the problem. The problem was the healthy boundaries inside their life, as well as external energies of enabling. But we also had to learn not to enable. So now that the energy of astrology has moved over to Aquarius, it's more conducive with groups. But we can have karmic groups coming back to the beginning of January and at the end of the year for a test rerun. And I do feel ultimately, I think masculines might sit with that for a little bit. So you guys can be going, you know, poker face, everything's beautiful, lovely. Oh, I'm fine. Yes, you might be, but you do need to actually allow yourself to have feelings. I'll pull an animal totem card and see what can be coming up. And it has to be the rock. So, you know, understandable. Yeah, you're trying to hold the energy and right, trying to be strong. Song of the Wild. You're like, what would the word be? You know, if I really told you what I felt, and this is an example, feminines might be feeling, I don't know if you'd like me. And it's not that you want everyone to like you. You may not have beautiful things to say right now. And it can be due to wounds, it can be due to frustration and fatigue. Uh, and it's also, you're like, you want something to believe in, right? And I did channel that last year. It's like I'm kind of seeing through the astrology and through this channeling of the downloads I've had in the last 48 hours. I did channel a message that something profound was going to occur when it did relate to the masculines and them owning their power. We've looked at the astrology, second house placement, the ascension, right? And I do feel it's going to return your belief in love, whatever this is, return your faith in a circumstance. So at the moment, no, you don't. You're kind of like beautiful, lovely. You know, you don't want to be here because I will probably Mars you, or I look like Helen. I really don't care. You just, yeah. Okay, maybe we're on a different path right now. And I think it's a temporary thing, to be quite honest. I really do. So if there's a circumstance playing out, I do feel it's quite temporary. Yeah, it's purging an old cycle, okay? You don't feel great right now. You're kind of, hi, Val. Are you ready for Mercury retrograde, lady, with your business? Okay, let's get some cards. Now, do we? I guess because I have channeled the energy of a test, a karmic test, we'll say. It doesn't have to be a person. It can be a karmic test. Go back and look at the previous video and see where Mars was. Number one, in each of their zodiac sign, and see potentiality, what will come through. Separately, go look at where Taurus is for them in that video, because it can give you an update. Otherwise, book reading and I'll do a private one for you. Ooh. Okay, a lot of you are a bit peeved that you didn't hear anything around Christmas, New Year's. What's that about? Let's pull a crystal for the karmic energy. Something that is binding is something that lost hope. This can be a person, a place, or a thing. Maybe coming back for a revisit. There is a bit of agitation there. Yeah, well, you got celebration. You're like, I'm partying, okay? I'm just going to party. And really, it's like, yeah. I'm doing that really motivated there. It's like, okay, I'm going to go to bed. Anywho, you're planting your own seeds. You're dealing with things. You got the healthy kind of energy going. Look, I'm just going to self-master here, whatever it be. Do I plant a new seed in my life? Do I just move forward and do those things, which we're always supposed to stay in alignment and do the things that we're meant to do. Now, karmic energies on the external, this can be a person, place, or a thing. It could be a subject matter in their chart. I earned unlimited income doing what I love. I am successful in all my pursuits. Now, it's in reverse. Let's channel this. Release limiting beliefs regarding money, which is self-esteem energy also. Increase financial success, attract extreme wealth, increase abundance in all areas of life, cultivate authentic relationships. So there has been a karmic situation that they are very, very codependent. Okay? They're very codependent, and maybe it's never enough. Yet what they may be finding is they're projecting and looking outside of themselves, and there could be blame energy and karmic energy coming up with the karmic frequency relating to this circumstance. Now, for them, this can be not focusing on them doing the work or seeking employment, and they may be actually codependent. They also may have a very high expense list and, what would the word be? Expectations on what this person is supposed to give. And it's not about the person point blank zero. A lot of it is actually about themselves. I've got great humor. You have to. You've got to be in this industry, right? Got to be a bit batty like Yildiz. Okay, so they're paid because they're like, okay, I've tried everything. Everything I tried before, it didn't work. What do I do now? They don't want masculine to be free. This can even be on the feminine side. However, this flips. The karmic energy is what it is and what's coming through. There is something that is tying you to a previous circumstance. You've kind of outgrown it, right? Thanks, Val. I love you, lady. You know, yet the situation's coming back, and it can be due to self-worth energy, self-esteem, don't want that to finish. Let's have a look at the cards. Now, masculines are in this, they really believed maybe a family-related dynamic was going to change. They really believed in family and the energy of family, but maybe didn't believe for them it would happen. And however that went down, maybe it wasn't so successful. This can be with children, with karmics, with home-related dynamics, with their inner child and their childhood. There may have been a lot of breaks. And now that's returning, okay? It's really returning. I'm going to have to go back and read this. Sally's always funny. I like talking to Sal. We have great chats, don't we? We're our authentic selves during the readings that we do privately. Ooh, okay. What's on masculine's mind? The Two of Cups, relationships and connections. I do feel they're thinking of you, but they're thinking of maybe the complexity of what they had in the past versus what they have now. And if there is a codependent situation, let's pull a card for codependent. Oh, it came up anyway. I know it's a waste of time. Okay, so it's pointless. They've been there, done that. It doesn't work. If they are avoiding you, what's happening if they're avoiding you and they're looking outside of themselves or looking at an old way of dealing with it in an unhealthy fashion? Yeah. Second house placement, Taurus. Okay, they're going to realize it comes down to self-esteem. Oh. Oh. Come on, Louise. You're an angel. Whew. Okay, something's playing out there. Let's have a look. Okay, what are these two paths for masculine play? So I do feel there's two roads, but one road that they thought they were going to go down is going to swap about. Oh, yeah. Those that fall on the floor are up for grabs. There is a person from the past, separate to feminines, coming back. Now, if the circumstance, and it can be emotionally, physically, spiritually, psychologically, or in the 3D, right? However this is playing out, this was the blockage of why they were like, do I, don't I? It's probably the right thing to do, right? It's not going to last very long because the panic's going to set in, and it's sort of like, oh my God, they're like, okay, maybe I should just go do it. I'll just go do it. I'll go back. Maybe we've got kids together. Maybe it was a job and it felt safe and secure, but they really hate it. Whatever it is that's going on, there may be a glimmer of thought in a sense, and that's through their ascension process wherever they are in the matrix of it. Most that are further on in the journey have already purged that. The purging of the guilt can be coming up and letting go of that and seeing it from a different angle, right? Those that are away from you, separate, contact, no contact, contact, no contact, they're going through the circumstance right now. They're like, okay. So they were trying to find a solution, right? Now, just as they've come good, this offer potentially may have at a point come in. And this has been a second thought offer. So it's not like, oh, this is the top of my list. I really want to do this. This is just a second thought offer, their backup plan. Sounds really bad. We are human, right? Right when they're ready to proceed forward to you, and this could be a past tense event and it's most current, okay? They're reflecting over this. This person came up and there might have been a circumstance in their life of necessity. It's like, oh, well, maybe I should entertain that. They don't want to. It's like this person, they're looking at it going, Something plays out. And they know how this is going to go. They're kind of like, I've been there, done that. It didn't work the first time. It didn't work the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And they're just like, what the devil am I thinking? Okay, what are their actions going to be towards this offer, this situation? I think most of them have gone, no, next, no. Yeah, they're like, no, that will kill me. No, okay, that's their reaction. It's like, yeah, it's like, look, I might have felt sorry for you. I might have understood. They feel bad now. They're like, oh, why did I not see the whole 21 reasons I left in the first place? Or that this really empath energy. I'm telling you, the full moon in Cancer, this tie-up is happening at the moment, and it's a little bit. They're not liking it. They're a bit triggered. Okay. They want us to stop there. Let's go to the karmic energy. What's up with the karmic situations? I have both of them lost their mind. I think we have. Right? We must have. Okay, the karmic's thinking about this instability, this separation, this. Why aren't you giving me enough? Well, what more can I get from you? How do I go about getting this? But they don't know whether this. They're like, oh, I thought there was love here. I thought there was connection. I thought, this was a sure deal. They're thinking on it at the moment. They're also thinking on divine feminine. They're trying to tackle this from a different approach. I'm telling you, they're tackling it. They're, okay, what way do I go about skinning the cat? And I do like cats. I have one, okay. No cruelty to human animals occur on this channel. Tactical approach. They may be using something to manipulate the circumstance. This is faith, but I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling it's more... are you? Okay, I kind of feel it's a circumstance like, oh, this worked before, why wouldn't it work? So whatever they've used in a sense of manipulation or the circumstances that held those situations together, it's like I keep hearing the term return to the Mac, and there must be cryptic messages inside that. And return to the Mac, is that a movie or a song? I think it's a song. There's got to be something in that as a cryptic message. So I feel as though what they're doing is utilizing an old way that always worked for them before. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. He said he can't be with only one woman, so I don't answer the phone. Also, thank you for that information. I can, and it means that the goods that I have to give, a very blessed masculine is going to have it. Thank you for that information. Return of the War. Yeah, but I don't know. Go listen to that song. I'm telling you, it's got a cryptic message. I may put something up after, once I find out what it is. Yeah, they're like, they're jealous. There's jealousy here. So it's purely egoic. The sun's in Capricorn, and they're in the devil card energy at the moment. They might be using a family team. It might be a workplace, to try and pull it together. This might have been communication via Christmas, around Christmas, hoping they would get that old victory back. Maybe even using the pregnancy card, or, hey, we can move this ship together. We've got family, or creative offers from workplaces. Yep, they're in their intuition. I'm telling you, they could even be watching videos. And this is because they want to, they're trying to hold it back, but they're doing all they can to be able to shift this about. Okay, let's see. Oh, well, they must be good roommates, eh? Remember, the mirror always does occur. Where are we? We have to ask. Are we happy with our current environment? If they're with the karmic and they're roommating with them, but they're not together, are we happy with the people in our life? You know, always looking at those. There's something we can shift around. Masculine, okay, moving into the sun energy, dealing directly with the karmic. They may have been in the ego relating to their hopes, dreams, and aspirations, and maybe the goals they wanted to achieve. They're looking at the accountability in those things now, and they're dealing with the karmic situation. Now, they're well aware of who's who. Now, I'll show you. There's two different energies here. This could be a two-faced person, or this could be the difference between a light person and a karmic person. A bit shady, you know, a bit red and Mars. Yeah, you know what I mean? So they're seeing the difference. They're like, it's a bit like when you have a person that you thought was awesome at school, you know, at high school, primary school maybe, and they were the cool kid. And suddenly, you know, they've been mean to you, they've been putting you in a rubbish bin and things like that. And then they come up to you and they're really nice, and it's like, okay, what's going on here? This is probably how feminine's going to be towards masculine. Anywho, let's see what actions they're taking this week and how they're viewing feminine. Okay, what actions are they taking? Oh, okay, they're making a sacrifice at the moment. They feel, if anything, for their ambitions, they have to make a sacrifice. And yes, they do. If they do want to have a happy life and be in alignment, we know internally what feels right for us. So, you know, any sacrifices they've been making might have been for the wrong reasons. And I feel, you know, by the time we have Mars transit into Taurus, they're going to get that. And they're going to look at the bigger plans of the reasons why they're doing what they're doing. You know, what do they want their life to be? Where's self-worth energy? Sevens. Taurus transiting into Taurus. Taurus transiting into Taurus. Taurus transiting into their second house collectively. Okay, how are they reacting to feminine? They're not saying anything at the moment. They're like, bit of stagnation. They know they're trying to buy some time. They're trying to buy some time, but the way you react, airwig totem, is going to be important. Healthy boundaries. It's like, that's okay. You go do that then. I'm happy for you. Because it's an internal thing. It's not a personal thing. You will be taking it personal, but it's not personal. They know that you can read through them like a book. That makes them nervous because no poker face works. They may be wanting to stay in that comfort zone. How are they relating, please? They want to, they're hoping you would go back to the old way of being. And you're like, look, okay, if there's anyone in your life, I'm not interested. You guys sort that. But they are jealous. Okay, so they're trying to make you jealous. Oh, that's bizarre. It feels like they're trying to make you jealous. But there could be some jealousy coming up with them at the moment that they're trying to trigger you because they do know they're getting ready to move through a shift. Yeah. Yeah, they can't. They've got to choose. They've got to boss up. Time to choose. They know they're an ego. It's only going to last so long. It can get boring. I keep hearing this song, and I played this the other day. There was a particular person, I won't say who they are. Oh, thank you. I shall in a minute, sweet. Let's have a look what this is. Yeah, they kind of know they're bluffing, right? They kind of know that they're bluffing. I feel at the moment the major energy coming through. Oh, I've got another booking. Hi, Diva. If you're live in the house, hello. Look, I really see an interesting theme coming up that I do think, hold your ground, don't get triggered, don't feel that you need to shift anything or intervene. If you've spoken your truth of late, and even over the last 3 months, don't stress. Observe this situation as they transform. If they're trying to pull you back to an old way of being, it's a very personal transformation going on for them. It's not going to last too long, right? So the shift is occurring with them. As long as you don't enable, you will get the best out of it. You'll get your pie. Okay. Last card, and then I'll pull a card for you, my love. Last card for the Twin Flame Collective. What do we need to know? And I'll probably do a reading in another 24 hours. I do want to do these more regularly. Okay, there's something you're not letting go of. Just let go. Remember, when I said, when you let go is when it comes in. So if they want to go, let them go. Stella, your hair. You go, okay, well, you face your shadow. It's walking in truth, right? It's getting to a point, face your shadow, don't get scared. Don't allow that manipulation or fear to affect you making decisions that you need to make, right? Now, I'll quickly pull a card for the lovely above. Virgo female dealing with a Leo, struggling since 1 year. Please tell me about the relationship and possible outcome. Let's have a look. Okay, number one. The Leo energy, dealing with the Leo, will be transforming. So, dealing with the Leo. So, if they're the Leo, Leos will be transforming energies and Virgos also. I'll pull a card and we'll see what's coming up. Now, you will find this month is the shake-up in that domain. And I'll be honest with you, if you are in a relationship or a karmic connection, or anything that's had cracks in it, this will be the month that's going to really crack. We do have a lot of heavy-hitting Pluto aspects occurring this month. Yeah, so it's this month that those cycles can have a shake-up, right? It's the new chapter will occur, but those old cycles need to go. Now, very, very separately, if you are tuning into another person, coming to terms with an old path or keeping options open, it's sort of one toe in one door and remembering twin flame, that can kind of block the path. I'll just be honest. So if you're soul clearing, clear out that clutter of the go-to energies. It's almost like placing yourself in the naughty corner and going, no, I'm not going to have anyone, and anything that comes up for me, I'm going to integrate it. And then you'll find that that will be attracted in. Both Virgos and Leos are having major transformations at the moment. The healthy boundaries for Virgos are coming up, and health-related dynamics, as well as growth, as well as, okay, who do I belong with? And for Leos, the same applies because they have that in their 7th house. So, yes, those shake-ups are going to occur. I do feel it will be after Mars transits that can amplify that, and potentially around the 14th, you can see this moving into the upright for changes relating to that new chapter with them. Thanks, Stella. What is Tia thinking about our connection energy towards me? They're quietly meditating upon it. Very interesting. They're feeling as though they're understanding what you're saying. They're understanding what you're needing. But they do have a circumstance. That's okay, doll. They're trying to understand where they fit into it. Now, there's an old circumstance. Now, their mindset's mature. The mindset has become more mature in energy. It was very silent during communication. There was exchange, but there's a lot of reflection on it. And I think they're looking at the responsibility inside of the questions, maybe. Were they like rhetorical questions you guys were discussing? It's usually you do tend to find with masculine energies, you say something and you think it's all done and dusted and it's like going nowhere. And then 2 weeks later, it's like the conversation's back on the table, like you just started it. And they do tend to think out loud. So, you know, allow the information of the conversation to absorb. But it is... they're looking at it like, okay, this, because it is an exchange, right? It's okay, what's in this for me? What's in it for you? If you're being open and reciprocal, okay, I can get to a point. Yeah, Yeah, just cut to the chase. We've got airwig totem. So if you want to say something, don't anticipate, oh gosh, if I say, hey, I'm not saying be Julia Roberts, like potentially feminines are at the moment. We're like, okay, you tend to have a reversal of the energy. So initially you'll be the runner, and the running will go internally inside of masculine. And then as you're running on the outside, they're running internally. So they're like avoiding things, maybe keeping it quiet to themselves. That's really the energy they're in at the moment. So not necessarily are they actually running from you. They're running internally from their feelings and emotions and trying to sift through them and compartmentalize them. So those things to a degree are coming up. I do see them taking it seriously. I'll pull a card for you. Yeah, like they didn't think you felt the way you did. What was the blooming question? Remember that pain is both sides. So as within, as without, it's like reflect it back and go, yes, well, it must be very painful for you not to actually enjoy the company of me. I'll pull one for Stella. Stella donated. What have you got coming up, lady? Stella, have you been having headaches, my love? You got to call it like it is. Yes, okay. You're thinking a lot at the moment. You're problem solving. You have too many people you're problem solving for. Tune out. Okay, you need to get grounded. You need to get to a point where you can clear and you just go with the flow. Okay, your ascension symptoms are pretty heavy at the moment. It feels a little bit overwhelming. Okay, the headache, I'm getting the temple really coming through for you. Your glasses might need replacing, doll. Okay, so with your concentration and things you're dealing with, I also see a potential for you coming up, and it's weird. I do see a job, maybe. There can be a job coming up, or you're doing something for somebody. It may be looking over documents and doing something that you used to do before. But anything that's going on around you, you have forward movement. You may be feeling it and getting a lot of psychic downloads at the moment, but you also can be feeling a lot of people's energy. So, you're worried about mother, father, sister, brother, however it goes, worried about all these people and problem solving for them. So, take a bit of a break. Do some breathing exercises. Let's pull one for Tia. Yep, self-worth energy is coming up, so you will see a transformation in them, and stop problem solving for people. Tune out of that. I know your zodiac sign, lady. I'm watching you. 6th house placement of Pisces. Now, yes, this week we will have Neptune making aspects. So, when you see it or hear it squaring, have a look at the current astrology. It can be hitting our 6th house. Now, mid-year, this can come up. So themes relating to healthy boundaries, our health, not overcompensating and giving too much, and creating that balance is really important. We text occasionally, chat on phone. He keeps saying he's coming to see me, but no. We'll say, what if I move? And the first song I heard again is still that song from Cody Ugly, For You Is One Way or Another I'm Going to Find You. It's like, yeah, but I mean, hey, what if I hide? Can I hide? How far away is he? Is that a rhetorical question, Louise? Why am I saying, oh, well, you do have green writing, but I'm saying, I see travel with them. I feel there's a circumstance playing out with somebody they're connected to overseas. I do feel movement with them, but I also feel there's a very, very separate circumstance going on in their life that is to do with a family member. It might be an unwell family member, something like that. News. Natasha, can you have a card? Yes, my love, you can have a card. And thank you to those of you who donate. I deeply appreciate it. I'm buying new technology this year, so this year is going to be really expensive for me because the technology I'm needing to do the job I do is actually pretty pricey. 1 minute, I'll just give one to Natasha. Natasha, happy birthday, Natasha. What are you feeling guilty about, Natasha? Integrity. Okay, what are you feeling guilty about? I don't think this is about love. I think this is separate. You'll call me. Oh, he'll call you, he said. Leave it be then. Don't call them till they make an effort. Go, okay then. I'm taking your word for it. Integrity. Oh. Look, love is free. Love is a feeling. Love is not ego, right? Integrity is intuition. We can love someone. We can even tell them if they're in a partnership. And this sounds really bizarre. Hear me out. You can, in an accountable fashion, say, I can acknowledge I am in love with you. I take responsibility for that. What they do with that is their responsibility, with you having absolutely no intent to destroy anything, but standing back and going, I'm in that and I find forgiveness for that, because that's love is separate to ego. Love is separate to actions. It's a feeling. Like I say, with the ice cream, you know, mum told me if I was going to be good, I'd get an ice cream. And I do have a real issue with, if my mum's still in the house, I do have a real issue with my mum eating my ice creams. So this is why I use the analogy. But separately, being good doesn't assure great events. Being bad doesn't assure negative events either. Good and bad people get both, right? Again, look at what it's doing. Look at how it's feeling. Now, do you feel that by lowering, and this could be you feeling this way, I've lowered my standards because I feel this person's never going to leave. But again, go back to when we love something, yes, we can love them. Okay, we might have guilt relating to that. But if we step back, do we believe that if we step back, they won't come for us? Do we have to keep giving our power away? So there can be a different way you're energetically transforming through it. And again, you know, it depends on where your soul's at. Sometimes at an intimate level, when we do such, we can start feeling a little bit robbed, because we want more, and then we get down and we feel down about it. So if you can get to a point, you can go, and it depends on where you're at. I mean, you may get to a point you say, hey, I want the full kit. I want the white picket fence. I want the babies. I want the love. And I want that person, and I'd love to have them want me, which they do, but they're having their cake and eating it too. So there's no need for them to leave, because they've got a portion of you and they've got a portion of the karmic. And it can be a soulmate too, right? So moving back and saying, look, I don't want to eat half the cake. I actually want the whole cake. And that was the Airwick totem. It's speaking your truth. It's like, I'm going to go into Airwick totem. I am speaking my truth. I actually want the whole relationship, and I'm not willing to eat half the cake. It's a bit like giving me the cake and not giving me the cream. Yeah, I want both. So you keep saying 144. It's asking you to stay in alignment, move into detachment. Don't go find a soulmate or a karmic. Just allow and keep where you are. Detachment creates the connection. And this is what, with your circumstance, Natasha, it does actually help doing that. It's having faith in yourself that you can have the world, that you are entitled to have a great connection. You can still love them. We're human. We are human. I hope that helped. Have I answered everyone's SK? I need to. What if TF thinking about a connection? And then it was I think if anything, just be directly straight. If you guys kind of are pussyfooting around situations, and that's okay, Joe. Is there any clarity he's wanting from you? Have you been direct in what you're wanting? Or are you kind of being direct in what you want and then running back 20 steps and then going, I'm going to have to give in to you again to get what I want. Okay, you got to break that cycle. Break it, okay? Addictive tendencies out the door. They don't belong here no more. You're having a good, healthy exchange. You can state what you're wanting. You can state how you feel because it's your perspective, it's your feeling, and disconnect from the outcome. I'll pull a card. I'm being direct and he's being resistant and stubborn. Sorry, you're trying to negotiate with a terrorist. Don't negotiate your terms. State your terms and stand by them. So it's like you're saying yes and they're saying no. And you're like, okay, this is a real great game, right? You made your statement, stand by it, step back. You know, it's not, yeah, you can call me and not turn up for 20 weeks. No, that doesn't work for me. I had other plans, okay? I was washing my hair, which you can see. I did wash it the other day. It was horrendous. I've got to say it was horrendous. Trying to get the knots out of that hair, I felt like my father was ripping through my hair as a child. It's way too long to brush. Honest to God. I'll take it out in a minute and I'll show you. I need to cut my hair. It's ridiculous. It has gone down below the bottom. Okay, so negotiating your terms, SK, it's just not going to happen, right? You need to be firm with you. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I know my worth is. And while I am trying to go into negotiations with you, and it's beautiful and lovely, not really, because we're not getting anywhere. We are going through the cycle. You need to then stand in your power and go, right, I'm just going to go keep myself occupied because this conversation is driving me batty. We think we are on the same hair wash schedule. I think so, Giggle. And, you know, I actually mentioned it to my twin because Giggle and I were laughing about the fact that we needed to wash our hair desperately. I mean, I looked like I had a cat mat at the back of my hair. Why? Because it looked like I'd been dragged through the bush backwards and it was twin's fault. But it wasn't really because it's so long that to get the comb through it, it was like literally the knot was this big. And I had it in there trying to brush it through. It's that long, it's becoming unmanageable, I shall say. Plus, I've been doing way too many videos, so the length of this is insane to the point. Now, my jacket is, you know, really overcompensating because it's got a bit of a lip, but it is below the bottom. So that's a whole lot of hair. So trying to wash that is nightmare on Elm Street. Which, you know, yes, twins do like it, you know, need I say more. But again, you know, I'm a human being. Anywho, any other questions? Okay, so what circumstance are you negotiating, SK? Oh, nobody's going to watch this video. It's way too long anyhow. It is what it is. YouTube, can you give us some editing tools so we can put little, you know, thumbnail images and, hey, in 20 minutes we talk about this? I'd love that. Yeah, it has its days. The color's going to need to be done again. Beautiful, lovely. Wish you were here. So, SK, right, we're not negotiating. The astrology is yucky enough as it is. What's beautiful, really? We're moving away from Mars. We won't want to Mars people as much, which is good. You like the long beards. Well, I'm still going to continue doing them. You know, don't think that because I've got the join button that's stopping here. No, it's just separate. And it's so those of us that maybe don't want to say certain things relating to karmics and, you know, be more open and share with the individuals in the room, we get to do that and it's more private. Giggle. I can't. I've been thinking about you for the last 24 hours too. So far, how many videos have I done for January? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm ready for my 14th and I've got 2 clients' videos to do today as well. Something that isn't healed is coming back to be addressed. There is some sense of healing in the yin and yang that needs, and you may be feeling this can't be healed. Separately, let's pull a different deck to get the overall energy. Have you heard from your other guide? You good? I feel you will hear from them soon. True. Just be straight up. Look, I don't want to keep negotiating the terms. Just say, look, I know what I want. You're like, look, the thing is, you put a lot of work into this, right? And you're like, do you know how tired and arduous this was to put all this work into it and nothing yet is healed, right? The thing is, yes, nothing is for nothing. And the sunflowers, Capricorn, right? Sun is bringing this accountable energy up. I do feel communications coming in. I can see the hawk on the hand. You might be feeling that there's more drama coming, but I actually see it behind you. I think there might be a circumstance that plays out this week that could be full of drama. And it can be something you hear about, view, maybe even reflect on. But as you're letting it go, I sort of see it's kind of in the background. It's like it's in the past. You're like, and message communication comes in. And I do feel by this point you're feeling really light. See, the hawk. Storm in the background. Birds, like the drama, going to the past sort of thing. But I do feel also home is going to feel more balanced. And I do think that you're focused on your creativity. It's funny. I think you're going to have clearer cognitive energy. You know, the hair washing. I think, look at the way her hair looks clean and washed, and she's in her pajamas. I think, if anything, you're going to get more downloads. So it can be a calcification, detoxification of the crown chakra. Good old build-up of smudge sticks in her hair, right? It's funny, Twin had ice cream the other day, and his beard was so rough. It's really hard in a twin flame path because a lot of times your soul will not let you leave situations. It's too humanistic to have it very black and white. So a lot of times, you know, if you're strong enough in your energy to create those healthy boundaries and not have that attachment, it means you've done the work on yourself. And it's not that you're bad or good. It's just a natural cycle and process you get through. So once you do reach that, you just will find it's just not enough for you. But the soul contract will still be there. You can't cut cords. Cords don't work. It doesn't work. I've been on the journey over 25 years, and technically, if you want to deem it as a tag as twin flame, an ascension awakening, because we are empaths, it's from childhood. So the more you ascend, the more the work you do on yourself, the more you look at your birth chart and do that integration, and you will have that soul connection. And literally, it's a bit like being in the Matrix and seeing everything 3D. That they're walls, that they're blockages, looking at the karmic, it's a blockage. No, it's not. Detached. No, it's not. That is the solution. Looking at people that are enabling, no, that's the solution. Detach, let go. The more you do that, you're breaking those walls down in the matrix and you're moving forward. And those self-fulfilling prophecies, the delusional energy just goes. It just goes. It's almost like you need to physically look at your life as a complete delusion, that you're breaking all of that conditioning away. And the more you do that, and how do I put it? Something comes up, you look at it, feel if you resonate, let go emotionally, psychologically, bang, solution comes. So all your blockages can be resolved so very quickly. And it's about the connection, the ego, the detachment, the purge, the forward movement. The more you do that, you're getting movement, okay? And I look like I've got a knot there again. See? Bloody thing. And I tied it up last night, so God knows how. Anyway, I will have to love you and leave you because I have a total of 36 videos. I think I've managed to do 14. And I have 4 days to do 36 videos plus 2 clients' videos. And I have clients as well. So as much as I love you, I must go. Thank you for your kind donations. It keeps the channel afloat, as well as I will be getting a new laptop. There's packages I use for editing. There's, software I get. There's insurances related to the spyware on the computer. There's also the internet that I pay monthly. What would you like to know, Jen? Last question, love. Then I'm going to have to clear the deck and get all these clients' videos done. Thanks, Star. That's okay, Stella. Love you, lady. You take care, miss. What would you like to know, Jen? I'll pull a card for you. Let's see. Thank you for the likes in the house. I appreciate it. Okay, there's something going on with twin at the moment, and I would say it relates to a separation. I do feel there could be a shake-up in the connection. I'm also seeing if there is a karmic, which doesn't look like it, there could be a transformation in that. Okay? For your lunar new year, temperance. Don't overdo it. Try the trusted route. Do things by the book, but moderate, okay? There can be indecision coming up at the moment for you, but ultimately there can be, at the moment, needing to do things a little bit like the traditional way. Love and light, guys. I will see you all later.